my first time and it's been an amazing experience. I get to meet a lot of people from different backgrounds, but with the same motive of making the world a better place and also to support those in need.
For me, it's like quite special. You come here to get inspired. You come here to really get to know the people that work in like really important issues.
The sessions are very dynamic and inclusive. We get to learn as well, and we also get to meet other people from all over the world with the same mission and passion that we have.
Japan is like a benchmark for everything that is earthquake design and everything that is earthquake based. It's the best place to be as an earthquake engineer.
The winner is Lamu County in southern Kenya.
This award is dedicated to all the marginalized community, all the marginalized regions in this world. We're going to do better and better job in as far as our Lamu County, Kenya, Africa is concerned.
Today I have learned inclusion of the disabled persons, how we can integrate some elements in our project.
And understanding how we can bridge gaps with humanitarian applications to science in such an exciting and interesting place, and learning about both the history and the future of Himeji, I think has been a really tremendous way to experience the trip here.
皆さんありがとうございました。Thank you. Hope to see you all again soon. また会いましょう。
How awesome was these days, huh? Big applause to you. Big applause for the session leads, for the plenaries. Thank you, everybody. Now we will start our closing ceremony, which also is another highlight of understanding risk. We are in the middle very much on the whole week. Tomorrow and Friday we have workshops and meetings that are longer than an hour that goes deep into the technical aspects of what we do. But I would like to see in the audience who has been in an airplane. I think most of you know. Or trains? Yeah, trains, good, good. How about helicopters? Yeah. How many of you have been in a submarine? So, well, our next speaker, he works in a submarine. So I'm very excited and very jealous. We will have our next keynote speaker, someone who's working in something that many of us don't see, but sometimes we live, we enjoy. Understanding the risk is very important, but when you don't see it, it's even most important. We think that we have an understanding of all the different hazards that we have been facing in recent years. But how about thinking about thousands of years? What happened that time? We don't know much. I want to introduce Tani. He is a senior curator of the National Museum of Science, Natural and Science of Japan. Please, let's give him applause. Tani, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, Joaquin-san, and thank you for the invitation. I think everyone's waiting for a cold drink, so I'll try to make it short. I work as a marine geologist at the National Museum of Nature and Science in Tokyo. This is a photo that I took from a volcanic island called Izu-Oshima, which is located just south of Tokyo. This island itself has erupted in 1986, and all of the islanders who were living at that time had to evacuate from the island until the eruption ceased. And these chain of islands that you see in the back are also an active volcanoes, which has a past record of eruptions. But today, I would like to introduce you our ongoing study on what lies underneath the waves, which is a submarine volcano in the seafloor. So Japan is an island volcano, as you know, with more than 100 active volcanoes shaping the dynamic scenery, but also caused significant hazards in the past. I think these photos would represent what you would imagine when you hear a word volcanoes, so mountains on land. However, such volcanoes on land are only a minor part of volcanism currently happening in this planet. Actually, more than 80% of the global current volcanism occurs in the submarine environment, mostly in the seafloor. Mid-oceanic ridges in red lines, where oceanic plates are formed, are a chain of very active submarine volcanoes erupting somewhere even at this moment. Subduction zones in blue lines are where the oceanic plate subducts beneath the deeper earth. That's where most of the earthquake occurs, but at the same time, they generate magma and form very active volcanoes. Since Pacific plate is surrounded by these subduction zone volcanoes, it is called a Pacific Ring of Fire. So most of the global magmatism is happening where we cannot see, which is under the sea. However, the submarine volcano studies are not well, conducted yet. Compared to the volcanoes on land, eruption styles and mechanisms become very complex with the presence of water. Water pressure, which corresponds to the depths where the eruption occurs, is also an important factor controlling the style of the eruption. It is very difficult and expensive to conduct a seafloor survey, which hinders our studies on these submarine volcanoes. Also, we lack monitoring systems like seismometer arrays, as we have for the on-land volcanoes. And for us geologists, it is very important for us to observe the phenomenon to understand the processes. But submarine eruption mostly occurs most underwater, so we don't even know when and where these eruptions are happening. But recently, there are several eruptions that are well documented by satellite and aerial observation. One case was in the deep ocean, 2012 eruption of Habure volcano offshore of New Zealand. This volcano lies deep ocean at 700-meter depths, but caused thermal plume and pumice raft to sea surface. This was a surprise even to us volcanologists and geologists because we did not expect that eruption at such depths can cause effect to sea surface. By the way, the pumice is a very highly porous eruptive material that will float in water. In shallow ocean environment, Fukutoku Okanawa volcano in Japan erupted in August 2021. This eruption formed 12-kilometer high plume and formed a pumice raft on sea surface. In open ocean environment, a very explosive eruption occurred in January 2022 in one of the Tongan islands. I think you all remember this eruption. This eruption is said to be the largest natural explosion in the century, causing 57-kilometer high plume and caused tsunami damage around the Pacific coast. So we are now gaining more knowledge about submarine eruption and associated hazards. One more important thing to add is that regarding the difficulties on studying submarine volcano is the lack of detailed seafloor maps. Due to the water covering the seafloor, we cannot use, for example, light or radar to obtain precise maps. So we need to use shipboard sonar to make a map, and this takes time and effort. So as a result, only 25% of the seafloor has been mapped so far. This is in contrast to like Mars or Moon, which are already 100% mapped by spacecraft. So in terms of the topography, it's a bit ironic, but we know much less about our ocean than other planets. So for us, even the distribution of submarine volcanoes are still largely unknown. We don't really know where it is. So as a marine geologist studying submarine volcanoes, what we do first is actually like 18th or 19th century. We make map first. So we use a research vessel to make a shipboard multi-beam echo sounding to make a detailed map. We're now being able to obtain very precise map of the seafloor using a submarine robot called AUV. After the maps are made and we know where the volcanoes are, we conduct seafloor observation and sampling using a different kind of robot called ROV. Or we go to the seafloor ourselves using the submersible. As Hawkins introduced, I have been down to the deep seafloor 11 times using these submersibles. So I'd like to introduce you our finding of hidden shallow sea volcano near Tokyo Bay, from one of these surveys. It is called Omurodashi. It might probably feel a bit odd, but this is kind of a big seamount located less than 100 kilometers south of Tokyo Bay. So it's very close to the metropolitan Tokyo. This is a 3D map of Omurodashi. You can see it has a very vast flat top summit at 120-meter depth, indicating that wave planation or wave erosion during the last glacial period, and the activity of the eruption has not occurred since then. So this seamount had been considered inactive. However, on the summit, there's a small hole in the summit called Omuro Hole, which has been known to the local fishermen for quite a long time for a good catch. The discovery of this volcano being active was just a coincidence. In 2007, we conducted a test of analytical equipment called geothermometer probe in the Omuro Hole. Geothermometer is used to analyze the temperature gradient beneath the seafloor. Surprisingly, we obtained anomalously high geothermal gradient of maximum 30 degrees Celsius per meter. So this suggests that the temperature will exceed above 100 degrees in several meters below the seafloor. So it's very, very hot. Of course, we first thought this instrument was broken. But after we cross-checked them at shore, we found that these values are correct. And these such high geothermal gradient suggests presence of hot heat source in very shallow level. In this situation, most likely to be a magma. However, it took us a while to come back to this site again to check our finding. In 2012, we discovered at the base of the Omuro Hole very active and high temperature hydrothermal activities in the Omuro Hole. You can see in the video of simmering of very hot fluid coming from the seafloor. Analyzed temperature was almost exceeding nearly 200 degrees Celsius. You see the ROV manipulator, robot arm trying to sample the hydrothermal deposited from this hydrothermal fluid, which is called a chimney. The white one is quite rare. So this is a direct indication that Omorodashi is an active volcano. I think all of you know that hot spring is highly favored in Japan as a tourist destination. And this is actually the discovery of the nearest underwater hot spring to Tokyo. Well, unfortunately, we cannot visit here so easily. So this is kind of a symbol of the Japanese hot springs. We also found evidence of actual eruption at the seafloor. Seafloors around the Omoro were covered with pumice and lavas, which is the eruptive material from the volcano. When we collect samples from the seafloor on the right photo, the surface looks a bit ugly, but when you cut them in half, you see that they are composed of very fresh volcanic rock. In this case, the rock is called rhyolite. Based on this evidence, we concluded that this Omoro, a small crater on the summit, was actually a volcanic crater formed by explosive eruption. We don't really know how many times the eruption occurs. We put S or not. So now we know that Omorodashi is an active volcano and have caused explosive eruption in the past. We started to look for record of hazards caused by this eruption to the surrounding islands. So we studied a volcanic ash succession in Izu Oshima and Toshima. Both are inhabited islands. We surprisingly found small white pumice crusts in the ash layer, as indicated in these blue arrows. From various analysis, we found that these are volcanic ash derived from Omorodashi eruption. By dating these ash layers, we were able to pin down the timing of the eruption, which occurred 13,500 years ago. This is quite recent for us geologists. But more importantly, it is now evident that Omorodashi eruption has caused hazards to surrounding island in the past. So in more general aspect, it is very important to understand potential risk of shallow sea submarine eruptions. We have several examples of types of hazards that can occur from these eruptions. One is maritime hazards by explosive eruptions. On the left photo is a Myojin-sho volcano eruption located further south of Omorodashi, which erupted in 1952. This was also a very shallow sea eruption. A Japan Coast Guard vessel called Daigo Kaiyōmaru was sent to monitor the eruption, but never returned. They later found a wood barrel from this ship with pumice crust pierced in the wood. So unfortunately, it is considered that this vessel has encountered unexpected explosive eruption and sunk. More recently, we encountered another type of hazard to coastal area by pumice rafts. As I said, pumice floats in water. During the Fukuoka Okanawa eruption in 2021, a large amount of pumice were ejected from the eruption and formed a massive raft covering the sea surface. You can see in the video. This is taken from a Japanese meteorological agency research vessel. So what looks like a land is actually a pumice raft covering the sea surface. They drifted more than 1,000 kilometers west to Okinawan Island and caused various damage to the island. For example, a blockage of ports and damage to the ship engines, because the pumice is sucked into the ship engine and that causes the overheat. And also there was a major damage to fish farming. We had a historical record of similar hazards in the past, but we were forced to realize how modern infrastructures are weak to such events. The highly explosive eruption in Hunga, Tonga in 2022 in Tonga made us realize more catastrophic consequences of explosive submarine eruptions. Left figure shows numerical simulation of how the tsunami propagated around the Pacific from this eruption. 20-meter high tsunami was reported in proximal Tongan Island, And even in Japan, 1.5 meter tsunami was reported. We also recognize a new type of tsunami called meteo tsunami, formed by atmospheric pressure waves. Also, we experienced another type of hazard from this submarine eruption. And this was a damage to the submarine telecommunication cable by seafloor sediment flows triggered by this eruption. As a result, the Tongan Islands lost international communication soon after the eruption due to this damage. So all these potential risks are present at various levels in Omorodashi and any other shallow sea volcanoes worldwide. But unfortunately, they are not well recognized to the public yet. But at the same time, I should point out that submarine volcanoes are a risk to human society, but it's important for biodiversity preservation. With the collaboration with marine biologists, we have discovered rare hydrothermal vent species in Omorodashi. The right photo panel, you will see a new type of tube worms and very primitive type of fish. Sorry, I'm a geologist. And several new species have been found and described. Hydrothermal vent in general are a crucial energy source for marine animals and have been considered to be a potential site where our life originated. So it's very important to study and preserve these sites. So to wrap up, submarine volcanoes are a leading actor of the global volcanism, but not well studied yet. And potential disaster risks associated with the submarine eruptions are underestimated, or unfortunately, at least not well recognized to the public yet. Recent cases revealed vulnerability of modern infrastructure to such submarine eruptions. We're trying to further understand the risk from the submarine volcanoes, and what we're doing is going deep. So this is a photo that I took from the submersible last year, just before we started our dive to unstudied submarine volcanoes in Okinawa. It's an exciting walk, but sometimes it's very challenging. It's a great pleasure for me to share my experiences to all of you this afternoon, and thank you for listening.
Thank you, Mr. Tani. What a pleasure. Thank you very much. Man, I just learned that we don't know anything. 13,000 years is nothing. Well, thank you very much, everybody. We are almost ready for sake. Almost. As we learned, dento, kakushin, and the most important for all of us, kyojinse. Very good. I will not ask you the other 9 words that we learned. It's okay, it's okay. We had amazing sessions today. We had great innovation, a lot of tradition on what we've seen with the kimonos. It was so funny looking at your pictures. I have them wearing the samurais and the geishas. Was beautiful. Some of you were shaking in the earthquake models. It was very nice. We had a lot of very diverse topics. We talk about high-tech, we talk about low-tech, we talk about insurance, we talk about communities, we talk about on issues from national governments, but also we talk about issues for local government. But at the end of the day, all these different topics have something that all of them need in order to be risk-informed, is really understanding risk, really understanding all the aspects of data, exposure, vulnerabilities, how we make calculations of this risk in order to really make informed decisions with the best information we have. We just saw the 13-year-old, not that old, that we don't know a lot of it. But we have to take the risk, and we have to make informed decisions with what we have. I also really loved the conversations that we had in the corridors, and also especially at the coffee place we had there. It was on purpose. Long lines, a lot of time to have chats. No? We had very good chats over there, so it wasn't just random, it was on purpose. Maybe, let me see where we are with this. Okay. I also want to thank all the UR community that made this possible. Our sponsors, our partners. Many thanks to the Hyogo Prefecture, to Himeji City, and all the panelists that participated on this. And I got some, it is random, but I got some words that I wanted to share that got stick to me during the conversation and the panelists. Shigeru Ban mentioned about kami, the word of cardboard, but also, depending on how you make the intonation, it's God. And I think the message there is how we use the information we have to really communicate and maybe convince the right thing to do in certain areas. That architecture and the use of those materials was very innovative. As I said, the opening ceremony was innovative without being technology. It has, innovation doesn't mean necessarily technology. But technology also is very important. We had a beautiful conversation, panelist talking about AI. One thing that I learned from it was that AI is a human tool, so let's use it and not abuse it. The other aspect that I wanted to highlight was something that was very, very interesting to me. I mean, what we do is something ordinary, you know, and how can we make something ordinary so in times of disasters it become extraordinary? And lastly, it was something from our African friends, is how can we spot the light on the local communities? Disasters start at local community and end at local community. So basically all what we do has to have an action, and the action is at local community. And the last thing, I was talking with someone also in the corridors, is how funny is this event that we can talk with each other and somehow we have a connection. It's like a napkin, no? There's a way that you can fold it that you will connect two dots. And we were finding very interesting connections among each other, which I hope we can take advantage of and make more and more connections. Some statistics, because they are important and we love statistics at the bank. We had more than 1,500 attendees. By far, the biggest understanding risk we ever had. So applause for you. So you should have at least 1,000 more followers in your X accounts or LinkedIn or whatever you have. 135 countries participated. That also is a break. Very, very important. We have participation from civil society, international organizations, private sector, universities, public sector. This is big. So as you can see, we can fold this napkin and make the connections that we need. We are going to have more than 100 technical sessions and focus days. Focus days, as I said, are going to be happening tomorrow and Friday, which are more dedicated to training more deep technical aspects. And of course, coffee. Guess how much coffee we have had these days? Huh? 5,000. Number? No? 10,000. Well, I guess not enough. That's my answer. Very good. And we also have a participant that was, our youngest participant was 10-year-old. Not necessarily from the school and the people who painted and participated in the opening ceremony. We had a 10-year-old participating in understanding risk. That was amazing. And guess the oldest. It wasn't old enough. We can always participate in understanding risk. You want free sake? Take your phones out and help us fill this survey. We need your help on providing a little bit of context and what happened here in Himeji for the Himeji city. This is going to help them and see where are you coming from, how did you enjoy it, and how you enjoy this amazing city here in Himeji in Japan. One of the things I wanted to ask you also is, what are you going to miss the most from Japan, from Himeji? Food? The toilets? I mean, the toilets are amazing, no? But I guess the connections and making friends, I think that's very important. Among the biru, remember biru? Very important word. So I think that's something that I want to remember from here. And it's another and the last word of the day. Which is Furu Sato. Furu Sato. Which means your home, your place, where you feel really at home. So each of us has their own Furu Sato. You're going back home, being your house when you were born, or where you're working, where your family is. So we are all living around the planet. And I hope everything that you have learned today, all the connections that you have done, all the experiences that you have experienced today, you share it and you take action. Because without action, this is nothing, no? And maybe in 2 more years, in the next Understanding Risk, we can all come together in our own Furusato, the Understanding Risk 26. I hope to see you there. So, this is a moment that I want to take to thank everybody that has been producing this event for you. You know, you have seen this beauty here. I'm just the pretty face, but behind of all of this, there's a huge effort, a lot of hours, days, months of preparing this. We have a great production team that is in the back. Hi, production. Thank you very much. But there are people, and I want to ask them to come because you have to see that. Mika-san, Dixie, Keiko, Mika, come on, please. Come on, come on. Anne, where are you? Big applause. This has been amazing. It's a huge job. High five. High five. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Where is Mika-san? Well, that team. Thank you. Arigatou gozaimasu. Thank you very much. This team is amazing. But everything we have done, we prepare, would have been useless without your participation. So, as is it is a tradition, we want you in the stage so we can take a picture. So, come on, get up. We are coming. Yes, everybody. No, you. Come on. Ben, come on. We're taking a picture from everybody. The stage is safe. The fire department has approved this. Come on, let's go. I will come here if you want. Come on. Yeah, you come here if you can. Oop.
When I gave the word, now in the morning I sleep alone. Sweep the streets I used to own. I used to roll the dice, feel the fear in my enemy's eyes. Listen as the crowd would sing. Now the old king's dead, long live the king. One minute I held the key. Next the walls were closed on me, and I discovered that my castle stand upon pillars of salt and pillars of sand. I hear Jerusalem bells are ringing, Roman cavalry choirs are singing. Mirror, mirror, my soul,
Okay. At the count of 3, say risk. 1, 2, 3. Risk. Yeah. Thank you. We have surprises for you. There is something happening on the. What's happening, Alan? There is a party on the other side. What is that? What does it say? Karaoke? Let's go. Where is the karaoke? Can we see it?
For risky karaoke. We're waiting for you in Hall A. So is the sake.
Así, es allá.
You can get yourself free, you can have everything, you can do what you want to feel. Yes, and it means for the okay, you can make yourself.
Everybody come on up for risky karaoke.
You need to sing with them. All of us.
Yes, but give
It's my first time and it's been an amazing experience. I get to meet a lot of people from different backgrounds, but with the same motive of making the world a better place and also to support those in need.
For me, it's like quite special. You come here to get inspired. You come here to really get to know the people that work in like really important issues.
The sessions are very dynamic and inclusive. We get to learn as well, and we also get to meet other people from all over the world with the same mission and passion that we have.
Japan is like a benchmark for everything that is earthquake design and everything that is earthquake based. It's the best place to be as an earthquake engineer.
The winner is Lamu County in southern Kenya.
This award is dedicated to all the marginalized community, all the marginalized regions in this world. We're going to do better and better job in as far as our Lamu County, Kenya, Africa is concerned.
Today I have learned inclusion of the disabled persons, how we can integrate some elements in our project.
And understanding how we can bridge gaps with humanitarian applications to science in such an exciting and interesting place, and learning about both the history and the future of Himeji, I think it's been a really tremendous way to experience the trip here.
皆さんありがとうございました。Thank you. Hope to see you all again soon. また会いましょう。